All right, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today on the Polygon Discord server for another AMA. My name is Zonzi, and today we're speaking with two highly innovative projects. The first one is Giddy DeFi Wallet, and the other project is Gains Network. And I'll let these guys tell you about these respective projects and as well as introduce themselves. Why don't we just jump right into that? Um, Maybe the guys from Giddy, why don't you go first? Introduce yourselves. Let us know who you are. How'd you get into crypto, and ultimately working on Giddy, and then we can do Seb from Gains next.
Fantastic. So you got Eric here. I'm on our main Giddy account, and then Brendan. So I'm CEO, co-founder. Brendan is our chief of product. He's also co-founder here at the company,
Hey
and
guys.
yeah. Hey, Brendan, why don't you give us a quick intro for yourself, and then I'll kind of intro myself and the company a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, my handle is Space Waffles. One of the founders and head of product at Giddy. So been here since the beginning here with Eric and Ethan, Eric's brother, and just excited to be here. Love what's going on in the space.
Yeah, awesome. My background is in most of us that started this company here, we all did computer science. We've been building apps for a while, worked at a lot of different startups, and I got started in crypto in about 2012. I started mining Bitcoin way back then, and I was more into the tech, like building computers, than I was like really truly understanding how powerful the actual crypto part of it was, which is kind of hilarious. I'm one of those guys with like lost hard drives and private keys that there's no way I could ever recover them. They're in a landfill somewhere. So lesson learned on that one. But I got into Ethereum mining again, kind of in like around 2016, 2017, and was had a great time with that. The bottom kind of fell out of Bitcoin, 2017, 27 or 2018 or so, and I put it down for a little bit, but I got back into it when basically when DeFi summer rolled around. I started mining Ethereum again, learned about smart contracts, and just was completely obsessed. I got totally hyper fixated on this idea that you can write code, you can put it on the blockchain. There's all these people making really cool apps. Just it was completely enthralling for me, for someone who really likes code. So I was messing around with like Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum, and around 2020 or so, I met someone. So by the way, we're headquartered in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I met someone here. He's local here. He's big crypto investor and stuff. And we're just kind of chatting on this sort of like a Marco Polo competitor that a startup company in Utah made. And I'm just nerding out about impermanent loss and just like all these different DeFi things. He reached out to me directly and he's like, "Hey, sounds like you might know what you're talking about. I'm in a little bit of a trouble. I got some money stuck," and he had a significant amount of crypto that he was kind of moving around to different like dexes that were getting shipped. This is around the time everybody was trying to get early on dex releases. They're all getting those 3,000% APYs and all the inflationary stuff that was going on. Anyway, one of these dexes that shipped, they migrated everything, but they didn't really give people enough time to like use their UI to switch their money around. So he had a significant amount of crypto locked up in these smart contracts that he couldn't access. So I helped him get in there, looking at his accounts, on BSC scan, and I had to call a couple different functions to get this stuff unstuck. And there's just absolutely no way that he, just kind of relatively regular person, no real computer science background or anything, there's no way he would have been able to get his money out. And so we started talking about that and just like how high reward, high risk it is. He had a ton of friends that really wanted to get into crypto, but he's like, don't. He's like, it's too risky. So we're just like, man, we have to solve this problem. And we first tried doing like Zoom call conferences where we would teach people what buttons to click in MetaMask and all this kind of stuff. And again, we're mostly talking to regular people. There's some business owners, but there's some people who just like, they're not like super techie. They just can't really handle themselves. And every single time they're just like, please do this for me. I just want to give you my money and just like call it good. And even back then, so this would have been I think really early in 2021. even back then, I was not about to do like the custodial black box model of crypto where we just take your money, run it for you, give you back some portion of the returns. Um, Way before we had these centralized crypto companies that kind of like imploded because of all this hidden leverage and all these bad actors. Way before that, we just kind of decided like if we're going to do this, it has to be built on permissionless, trustless, decentralized tech. Like I am not just going to be that guy who's running money for accredited investors and like call it good. We really want to do something that's impactful and far reaching. So we started this company. We started Giddy, and we're solving two big major things. One of them is how difficult it is to self custody a wallet. So we're really big on the account abstraction movement, where we want to enable people to have a self custody DeFi wallet where you truly own the keys, and we do not. That is also safe, recoverable, easy to use. So we've innovated a lot on that. Where I think we have a strategy and a solution that really no one's done yet. And then the other part of it is making DeFi easy. We wanted to make it accessible. Kind of remove some of the mystery and the mystique, get rid of some of the jargon, and make it just totally understandable to people to where if you own some crypto and you want to earn yield on it, stake it into a various DeFi protocol, earn some yield, and call it good. So we put a lot of work into that as well. That allows people to just tap one button, stake into crypto, easy peasy. So yeah, that's kind of our background, the history, the story behind it. What we're really focused on doing is making DeFi accessible for the retail audience, for the masses. And so our app's been out for a couple months. We're still relatively early as a company. There's a lot of work that I want to do, a lot of innovation coming down the line. But yeah, I guess that's kind of a longer-ish intro on us. But DeFi for the masses, that's what we're up to. Make it real easy, real secure, self-custodied, and bring the next 100 million people into the space.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta say it's great having the opportunity to speak with you, Eric. I actually watched your whole podcast episode, the Polygon Alpha podcast episode. That was a really good one. Highly recommend everyone checks that out. So yeah, really good to finally have the opportunity to meet you and speak with you about Giddy DeFi. But yeah, I know Seb is probably patiently waiting to introduce himself. So why don't you go ahead, Seb? Let us know who you are. What's your backstory and how'd you get involved with working on G-Trade and Gains Network?
Yeah, actually, I will describe the launch of the project. No, I don't really answer personal questions. Sorry, should have told you before.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Like, definitely don't. Not asking you to dox yourself. Just yeah, let us know what you can, I suppose.
Yeah, so we launched Gains Network more than 2 years ago, actually. Now, pretty crazy. So it was January 2021, and it started as G Farm, and we rebranded to Gains Network because it was a bad name, was not really representing the quality of our product. So Gains Network is building G-Trade, a decentralized leverage trading platform, where basically the goal is to allow people to easily take exposure, long or short, with leverage on as many pairs as possible. That's the idea. And we redistribute the fees to the community.
Fantastic. Yeah, you guys have a incredible vision over at Gains. I'm wondering if would you mind highlighting what some of the advantages are when it comes to using Gains over something like a centralized exchange?
Yeah, sure. So the main difference is that G-Trade uses an Oracle-based system. Basically, on the contrary to order books, there is no slippage because we don't match buyers and sellers. So the idea is when a trade is executed, it just makes a request to our decentralized Oracle network, which answers with the current price, and then the trade can be executed at the median spot price using different sources. So users get to leverage trade on the median spot price, and that means, for example, we can do stuff like guaranteeing stop losses on cryptos, which is impossible to do on an order book based exchange, because if suddenly, for example, the liquidity dries up and you need to exit your position, then it's impossible to do so without significant slippage, for example. So having an Oracle based architecture is really nice because it allows much more freedom on the execution of orders, which will allow us even later to guarantee the execution of all orders, something which is only possible on an Oracle-based platform. But yeah, right now the big advantages are that a single DAI vault can power the trades on all pairs. And currently we have quite a few. We have 76 pairs, I believe, of many different asset classes, so many crypto pairs, forex, US stocks, US indices, and commodities. And we also offer high leverage as well, because thanks to our DAI vault, only the PNL goes through the liquidity, not the actual position with the leverage. Like nothing is really borrowed when you open a leverage trade. It only calculates your PNL and it interacts with the DAI vault for the right amount, depending on if you lost or won. So our main advantage is liquidity efficiency and the fact that we are Oracle based.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd add another additional advantage is self-custodialism, right? Because if you're doing this type of trading on a
All right,
centralized
yeah.
exchange, like, yeah, I think that's huge. And that's like
I
an
was actually
overlap.
comparing to other DEXs, but yeah, compared to centralized exchanges, for sure, trading from your wallet directly is pretty huge, and there is no deposit as well. On the contrary to something like DYDX, where you deposit crypto into their contracts. On GTrade, you trade directly from your wallet, and you can only lose what you put in a trade. There is no cross margin, because we believe that it can
Right.
trick users into losing more than what they thought they could lose. So that's what we went for now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so cool. You and Giddy are both working on improving decentralized finance, Web3 as a whole, and on Polygon too, to add to that. Like what, whereas you guys are focused on improving the trading experience, Giddy is focused on improving the wallet experience. And I think it's really cool how you guys have come together and found this like composability between each other where you guys can collaborate. And I do want to get into that, like, and discuss your partnership. But real quick, I'd love it if we could go back to Giddy and just discuss how Giddy differentiates themselves from other wallets, because I know there's so many wallet choices within the space. Like MetaMask seems to be the most popular pick, and then there's just so many different wallets to choose from. So I guess what my question is for Giddy is, what do you guys do to differentiate yourself from the competition? Like, what helps you guys to stand out and be different?
Yeah, great question. Thanks. I would even back that up one step and just mention that a lot of people who are crypto curious can't really tell the difference between what Celsius and FTX and Coinbase do versus Trust Wallet and MetaMask and these other guys. They know that MetaMask is harder, but not necessarily why it's different and why it's important that those differences are there. So the first thing I would mention is that we are truly self-custodial. We do not have access to anyone's private keys. We designed it that way on purpose. And if we ever did, you would know immediately because everything is being done on the Polygon chain. We're planning on expanding, to other EVM style chains. And so we built on first decentralized, trustless, permissionless technology so that you know everything that's happening with this tech. And then, kind of to your question, what's the difference between us and other self custody wallets? The first big thing that we did was make an off chain multi-sig security strategy. So it's something that's known as threshold share security. If you want some of the technical stuff, basically what it means is that when you make a wallet with a Giddy app, you do not have to write down a seed phrase. You never have to write down your private key anywhere. So, like I mentioned earlier, we really are focused on mass adoption, the retail audience. I think there's a lot of people who are DeFi native who really want to own their private key, their seed phrase, protect it themselves. There's people who use a hardware wallet and stuff. If you're up to the challenge, if you're up to the task, and you have a clean track record and can make it happen, more power to you. But even for some of those folks, we want to make it so much easier to manage your private key in a safe and secure way. So when you make a Giddy app, when you make a Giddy wallet with the Giddy app, you sign in with a Web2 login, like an email. You create like a backup password. You can also secure your account with either like SMS or Google Authenticator. And what that does is actually split up your private key into multiple different shares. And one really important thing to note is that these different backup shares, they each are not your private key. They need to be brought together and recomposed to create your private key. So individually, a share doesn't really do much. If it gets leaked or compromised or whatever, an attacker can't do anything with that unless they have a lot of other information. So it adds to security by breaking up your shares. It also a huge differentiator between us and some other wallets. We're not a contract wallet, so you don't have to redeploy your wallet to each different network that you want to operate on. Which also means that with a contract wallet, the multi-sig identities are private keys that exist on that chain. With Giddy, your multi-sig identity, your multi-factors are things that exist off-chain, which means you can use them for each chain. You have one address, one private key, just like with MetaMask on all your EVM chains, and you can recompose those to recreate your wallet. So our approach to account abstraction is slightly different. We really wanted to focus on making it really easy, but not compromising on security. So that's probably the single biggest thing that most crypto native people are going to be interested in learning about, is like how we handle the private key. The fact that it's truly self-custodied. Your private key doesn't get written down anywhere. It's not in your iCloud like some other companies might do. It's not in our databases. It never even crosses the internet. Your private key exists in an algorithm mathematically that you can only recreate with those other multi-factor shares of that private key. The other side of the wallet is DeFi native integrations, which is probably something that we'll discuss in a second, because this is what we did with the Gains network. But yeah, I would say the biggest differentiator is how the private key is handled and how we built it in a way that is ready for mass adoption.
That's amazing. I do want to mention to the Polygon community, if you have any questions for Giddy or Gains, well, we're lucky enough to have both of them here. Please, please, please ask them in the text channel, and I'll make sure those questions get asked. Okay, I feel like now would be a good time to dive into your partnership and how you guys are collaborating to bring DeFi projects, or like DeFi products to users of Giddy.
Actually, I would just like to say I think it's really smart, the multi-sig system, because like it's very hard to attack, like unless someone has your email, your Google account, and like 3 or 4 of your shares. But at the same time, like if it's 3 out of 5, if you lose 2 of the shares, you can still access your wallet. So I really feel like it's the best compromise for both security and like robustness if you lose 1 or 2 shares. Really smart, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much. We put a lot of time and effort into this solution, and I love telling people about it because it really is unique. I think we're going to see more wallets that start to do something similar. But yeah, it's a really good cross segment. It's a really good mix of security, recoverability, and ease of use. Yeah, so I can just dive into this if you want. So with DeFi, I think we've seen a couple phases or iterations of what people are interested in doing in terms of yield farming and how it works and what it is. DeFi summer happens, and all of a sudden we have these brand new opportunities to get into a new exchange, right? Most of the time, these yields are boosted by a token that's mintable, so it's highly inflationary. But if you're smart and if you get in early, you can make some crazy gains. So we had the big degen movement, which I was definitely in on. It was really fun, but there's so much opportunity to lose money. It's not a sustainable model to mint tokens to infinity and basically play like Ponzi scheme speed run. So we started seeing more innovation around what crypto Twitter is referring to as real yield, which is to say there are sustainable business models that are already working in the real world, in traditional finance and banking and lending and trading and all these other things that are implementable that you can put on the blockchain, right? The DEX is a really good example of that. They generate revenue based on trading fees. They're providing a service of connecting all these different tokens and people and tech, and they charge a small fee per trade to keep that service up and running. It's totally sustainable. It's really valuable. And then you see, companies like Aave and these other kind of lending protocols where I want more liquidity to do these trades and to, whatever strategy I have, I want to get into that. Great business model. If someone has a bunch of liquidity and they want to put it to work, earn some interest on it, I'm going to borrow it and I'm going to put it to work. So there are other examples of this, such as the Gains Network. I'm a huge fan of what they've done. They've solved a problem that, yeah, I love it. Like, there's clearly market demand for what you're doing because your adoption is skyrocketed. You have so much volume flowing through. And on the other side, if let's say I'm somebody who I really like the idea, I love the concept. Maybe I'm not as sophisticated of a trader, but I still want to get involved. You can provide liquidity directly to the trades that are happening. The more you learn about it, and Seb was kind of explaining it, but it's genius what they've done to balance out the risk. So as someone who wants to just provide liquidity to this thing and kind of like earn rewards, I as a liquidity provider, I don't have to be constantly trading and winning trades. I can just stake my crypto and earn rewards. We wanted to make that really easy for more people. So if you want to provide liquidity, you can get in the Giddy app. You can buy USDC or Giddy token, either one. And with one button, with one tap, you can stake into the Gains Network. I forget what the interest rates or what like the yield rate has been the last couple of days, but it's been great. I'm in it myself, which not financial advice, how that goes, but I love it. So regular people can download the Giddy app. They can make a wallet with like their email login, set up a password, whatever. We also have integrations with on ramps. So there's a Coinbase integration, there's a Ramp and Transact integration, Sardine as well. You can buy crypto really easily, and then with USDC with stablecoin, you can go to the Gains Network, tap one button, and it does a lot of stuff really quickly and automatically. Recompose your private key, sign a message, approve the contract, remove the contract approval, pay for the gas in an abstracted way. You can pay for gas in USDC or Giddy token. Stake into the protocol, and then shows you your position. It shows you the gains and price action, the yield generated. It really is a front to back end-to-end integration with something that is it's truly remarkable, but for most regular people, pretty complicated. And it just makes it extremely easy, very safe. And what would take most people, 10, 20, 30 minutes to do all the swaps and stakes or whatever, you do it in the Giddy app in under a second. So I love the fact that they're producing real yield. It's a product and a network and a platform that's very valuable. And we really wanted to provide an easy way for everybody to get in there and stake. So we man, we've already had such a great response too from different people who've tried it. It's just
Mhm.
once you've experienced it, it really is something that's remarkable, and the fact that you have access and exposure to gains makes it that much more meaningful.
I really think the one transaction that does everything, including the approval, is really, really good as well. Because it's always so boring to like have to approve, then you need to manage your approvals. So often people end up approving infinite amounts and then it can cause issues, etc. So I think it's really clean how you solve this.
Yeah,
That's something we're really proud of too. Is we've taken that experience, that DeFi staking experience, and tried to identify the pitfalls, the potential issues, especially for beginners, bad approvals, like you mentioned, and tried to kind of fix those. And so one of the biggest differences when you're getting into the DeFi side of things that you'll see when you download the Giddy wallet, rather than connecting out to dApps on a mini phone-sized browser through something like Wallet Connect, we've gone and partnered with many of these protocols, and in some cases just in a permissionless way, and brought those yield opportunities right into the Giddy app and provided kind of consistent experience to each of them. So as a user, I don't have to go out and snoop around for different dApps and be worried about a phishing site that's trying to snag my private key or give me a bad approval. We sort of vetted each of these projects, looked at the code, optimized the yield, and basically auto compounded all the yield for each of these pools right in the Giddy app. So the benefit is that it's that security question where users don't have to be worried they're getting into a bad site. And we can also, on the other hand, track your positions in each of these pools and tokens that you're holding right in one place. So you get a really, really convenient way to track your entire DeFi portfolio while at the same time benefiting from that ease that Seb was mentioning. One tap will break up your coin that you're inputting, let's say into a curve pool, like the HI crypto. It's 5 different coins. We'll break it up into the correct pairs, stake it for you, and auto compound the rewards. You don't have to do anything. That's all gasless. So at the same time, it's on chain and self-custodied. So you're getting really the best of all of those worlds with the Giddy app.
and just kind of to add on to your point, we are also providing the research that we've done in the app. So we'll explain what the protocol is, kind of what the team composition is, their history, where the yield comes from. We don't really want people to take our word for it. We want everyone to be empowered, do your own research, and we're also, bringing to the surface the details, the information around each protocol and why they're important, why they're different and sustainable. So regular people who download the Giddy app and get staked into it are going to see where the yield comes from, what the team looks like, how the token has been performing, etc. So that we're not just kind of trying to funnel people into degen land. We really want everyone to understand what's happening so that they can make smart decisions for themselves and gain the same access to financial opportunity as the experts have.
But to add to it, I really think the phishing part is big. I didn't realize, but now I remember. I don't know. I think I searched for a bridge on Google, and there were like 5 paid ads of phishing websites
Yeah.
on top of the real one. I'm not sure how Google allows this, but it's really easy to be tricked as a beginner. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, this is big in my opinion too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. One of the most startling phishing websites for me was I like to use this platform called DBank because it like shows the balances of everything like across my wallet across all different chains, and I went on dbank.live instead of .com or something, and then they're like asking for my seed phrase. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they like made a carbon copy of this website I like to use. Just, and it's crazy, you see that all the time with like every platform. But yeah, anyway, I
Yeah,
digress.
unbelievable. And like people with a lot of experience get caught by that. It's kind of outrageous how much effort goes into scamming people, but yeah, we wanted to just basically delete that part of the risk from the equation. And it does mean that you're going to be with the Giddy wallet, you use these one-to-one native mobile DeFi integrations. It makes it really, really easy. So we are, we're continuously adding features to the app and integrations and stuff like that. So we definitely have plans on expanding the feature set and usability of the wallet as a whole. But it's kind of funny. we got funding for the company. We started building kind of in the middle of the bull market. So all of our decisions are made around, okay, there's a lot of new people getting in. There's a lot of risk. People are really interested in DeFi. How do we help that crowd? And right this second, most people who are still engaging in crypto are people who have been here for a while. There are a lot of new people that came in from around DeFi summer that are still definitely engaging. So we were thinking more about the feature set for crypto native people as we continue to build out for retail audience. But stuff like that I think is just crucial. You can't approve the wrong contract because the bad guys don't have access to you, right? There's no phishing websites if you have a native DeFi integration and a partnership.
Yeah, most definitely. One thing that I think would be fun to talk about, just because this is like a super generic question that like generally someone always has, is like when token. I know that Giddy, they have like a Giddy token, and Gains, they have the GNS token, and I believe GDI as well now. I think it'd be cool to just talk about like what those tokens are and their utility within their respective protocols.
Yeah, I can start. So, GNS is mainly used to increase the liquidity efficiency of the Giddy vault. So basically, when the vault is, if the vault were to be under collateralized, GNS will be minted at a maximum rate of 18% per year and sold OTC to anybody who wants to buy it from the vault without any swap fee and at the 1 hour TWAP. And basically, the DAI will be used to refill the vault, and then the minted GNS will go to the user. So it's a really nice way of making the collateralization go up back to 100% faster if it were to be under collateralized. So it's a really good additional guarantee for Giddy stakers. And then in the opposite, when the Giddy vault is over collateralized, which is like almost all the time like it is now, a share of the trader's losses is used to buy and burn GNS to offset the inflation that comes from NFT bots, because currently it's also used to help support the collateralization of the vault by paying NFT bots in GNS instead of DAI, and the DAI goes into the vault, which puts a constant positive pressure on its collateralization, even apart from traders' losses. And so if we think that, for example, we have enough room with the collateralization, we can turn the burn higher, which can turn GNS into a deflationary token like it has been for the most part of 2021. We actually started at 38 million tokens and now we're at like 30.5. So that's the main thing, increasing the liquidity efficiency of the vault by not 100% depending on traders' losses for the vault collateralization, because the vault is the short-term counterparty to trades happening. So when traders lose, it adds collateralization to the Giddy vault, which makes it less likely for the vault to be under collateralized again. And when traders win, it takes the profits from the DAI vault, which decreases its collateralization. So that way, the over collateralization is a safety buffer for stakers that make it safer to stake and not be exposed to traders' wins. And the revenue comes from fees, because we really wanted to make the revenue a stable and recurrent revenue, and we wanted to isolate the PNL from traders from that, so we can only focus on the fee revenue, which is way more predictable. and then the GNS will also be used to govern the protocol, since we want to decentralize the operation of the protocol as well once we have a few more key features in place.
Such cool stuff that you guys are doing over there with GNS. We had pretty big ambitions with Giddy from the outset, right? Of plugging up a lot of these pitfalls and kind of the DeFi experience, security issues, talking about infinite approvals. So we knew from the outset that we needed to roll our own token and build in a bunch of new tech in conjunction with our own smart contracts and yield aggregators that would enable that like one tap staking experience. So the Giddy coin is really central to that in the Giddy app. It's a utility first and foremost. So we have very, very simple tokenomics. It's a capped supply, 1 billion tokens, no mint, no burn. And we've just been streaming it out to our users in the Giddy app. So if you want to get Giddy token, you can stake right in the Giddy app and get that. It's streaming for like another couple of months. And that'll be like that fully distributed supply out to the community. So the point of the coin is that it has some really cool tech in it, revolving meta transactions, where we can take Giddy coin, start with that, and then say, I want to go stake into a pool with various coins. And with one tap, we can break that up into those coin pairs and stake for you. And you don't have to hold Matic in your wallet, for example, on the Polygon network. So we can pay gas on your behalf, and we can do all of that with an approval and a transaction all bundled together. There are other coins in existence that have similar tech. So like USDC, you can do that as well in our platform. But really the Giddy coin, the fact that we control that contract, we can continue to innovate there. And we have some really, really cool stuff in the works to continue that innovation. But again, it's really core to what we're doing to enable that really, really easy DeFi experience.
Yeah, I would encourage anyone interested to check out the light paper so giddy.co is the website. There's a link to the light paper, I think, in the bottom footer. I could probably put a link here. But we are really focused on creating a utility, a true utility token that's used in our platform. And like Brendan mentioned, what the problems that it's solving are fixing the infinite approval bug that is just rampant in DeFi. This also remediates an approval front running security hole that's been around for a very long time. So the fact that we are able to keep approvals at zero means that you don't get front run, and you don't get, there's no chance that a bad actor, a bad contract can drain your wallet. Like Brandon mentioned, we also do the meta transactions. So it means that you, the user, can execute multiple transactions within the same transaction, and it's how we do trading and swapping and staking all at one go. And then we also use the token to do gas payment abstraction, and like Brendan mentioned, there's a few other things that we have in mind that we're going to build into that contract. But the purpose of the token is to be a utility on our platform. It's what is driving the innovation with our DeFi ease of use and usability. And at the moment, it's just on the Polygon network on SushiSwap. We're planning on broadening the liquidity sources and chains and all that kind of stuff. But the way that you're going to see it talked about and used on the platform is as a utility to solve DeFi native security issues.
So those are kind of two of the current practical things you can expect when using Giddy token, is that really easy tapping staking experience, and then reduced fees on our platform as well, because there's a lot of efficiencies we benefit from by using that kind of pair of Giddy coin and our own yield aggregators. So for example, right now, if you stake with Giddy coin, we cover all of the gas for you. And then also we're looking at trying to reduce fees for all of our users across the platform as you kind of transact with Giddy coin. So there's a nice incentive there to use Giddy coin, save yourself money, get increased security and increased ease of use.
Awesome. It's great to hear that you guys have put like so much thought into the utility of each token. Like there's really a ton of utility, whereas like a lot of projects, they just kind of have a token and then there's no real reason for them to have one. So yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, I think it's crazy. Like the amount of innovation that you guys have done. Like you guys really, really stand out from everyone else within the DeFi space, like within your own respective categories, so to speak. Like there's just no one doing what you guys are doing, how you're doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
We
thanks a
we've,
lot.
we've been trying real hard.
Just to add on this, I think it's really interesting how the crypto space is a bit changing. Like before, you used to see tokens just for the sake of creating tokens, but there wasn't really any project, or like there was some roadmap that will never be done or something like that. And now the space is maturing a lot, and we are seeing real products with real use cases instead of just tokens that are just made to make money for the creator. So I think it's nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. We talk a lot about the early days of the internet, what happened with the dot-com bust, and I think part of it was people just didn't really grasp the power of what the internet meant. So we saw applications that were just kind of whatever, that didn't really make a lot of sense. But even more importantly to me, a lot of those early internet companies, they went public before they even had a product. It was totally nuts. It's like
Mm.
a lot of these different token launches, you can do a private sale, you can do a private allocation to investors, you can put it on an exchange or a dex before you have any product built. So people are just basically speculating on whether or not you're going to be alive or dead. It's the exact same thing happened in the early days of the internet, where these early internet.com companies, they would go public immediately. And I've spoken to a handful of like lawyers who lived through that and helped companies do their paperwork, put it that way. And I love that take so much, Seb, because I think the way that we evolve, the way that we have sustainable growth, is we solve real problems using the tech that's so powerful, that's it can cross borders and make this global economy work for everyday regular people. The way that we do that is by using the native tech, solving real problems, and doing it in a sustainable way rather than trying to just get a whole bunch of pump and dump, get rich quick things. And, who knows if that's ever going to go away in some form or another. But what I see that's really encouraging is that the community at large, generally speaking, we're kind of tired of it. We've kind of had enough of these, like, burn out quick, like, make VCs rich schemes. Like, let's do something really useful. Let's accrue value to tech, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's also why we were really motivated to start a project in DeFi. It's because we really saw that there was so much value to be added to the space. I mean, I don't know if you remember, the food coins that used
Yeah,
to have like 50 million TVL, 100 million plus TVL. I mean, it was interesting because it showed like the mechanism of yield farming um, had a pretty good like how we call it, like people liked it a lot, but it made no sense. It was just Ponzi and stuff like that. But it had a really good market fit. Yeah, that's the word. But no product behind that. That was a shame. But yeah, seeing that, I mean, it was really motivating to contribute to the space. Because unlike a lot of
absolutely.
other sectors, like when you actually do something good in crypto, there is usually a lot of money that follows, but it's not the case in every sector now. So it's really motivating to work in crypto and to have good work ethic.
Yeah, I agree. I love it.
Yeah, I love working in crypto. It's nice to have a industry that I can be so passionate about and feel like I'm making such a real world impact rather than just clocking in a generic 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with a good 9 to 5, but I love crypto. It's yeah, definitely been a life changing experience for me. Anyways, we are starting to run up on time a little bit. I do want to make sure that we cover everything that you guys want to cover today. But we will definitely have to do some more AMAs. I think it would be great to have, you know, specific AMAs, like one for Giddy, one for Gains, just so we can do a deeper dive with the Polygon community into each of your projects. But you know, we'll have to schedule that for another day. With that said, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything like that you guys wanted to cover specifically today that we haven't already had the chance to?
Here at Giddy, we just would love to hear any questions you guys have. We're a newer player on the block. Like Eric said, we went live. We had like a long extended beta last year, and we went live just a couple of months ago. And so we're new. We're a new face. So if you're just even wondering why yet another wallet, like we'd love to just answer your questions and see what's on your guys' minds.
And then just adding on to that, give it a try. Free to download. Make a wallet. You can send yourself some USDC on the Giddy on the Polygon network, and mess around. So Giddy.co is the website. The app is available in the Android and iOS stores in most countries. And if it's not available where you are, definitely hit us up. We'll take a look. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the best thing you can do to learn about it is just to try it. Get in there, put some crypto in, try the one tap staking, get into the gains pool because man, I've been loving that one. But yeah, I'd love to encourage everyone who hasn't tried it yet just to give it a shot, and we'd love to hear your feedback. Any and everything you have to say about the experience and just the design and structure. Yeah, we're into it. Let us know. Hit us up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this goes without saying. No one here is a financial advisor. Nothing being said is financial advice. But yeah, I'll just add to that and say I downloaded the Giddy wallet myself. Super easy to set up. Took me less than a couple minutes. And yeah, it's available on the Apple Store and the Android Store. So super easy to find. Just type in Giddy wallet. It'll probably be the first thing that comes up. You can't forget the logo. I mean, it's an awesome doodle of a cowboy hat. Yeah, I even showed Giddy to my parents and got them set up with that. So it's definitely a really cool, user-friendly wallet. And then Seb, over to you. If someone wants to try out Gains Trade or G Trade, how can they do so?
Yeah, so the website is gains.trade. I think we have the best UX right now of any decentralized pair. I'm pretty confident. So if you're into leverage trading, we have a really wide choice of pairs, leverages. We're available obviously on Polygon, recently on Arbitrum. And so, it's really easy to just open a trade. You go there, you click connect wallet, approve, and then you can just trade directly using the DAI in your wallet with leverage. And if you're into liquidity providing, on the same site, there is a Earn tab where you can click on the vault and you can provide DAI to the vault, which is a direct counterparty to trades, backed by the GNS token as well. And right now there is approximately 14% APY. And recently, actually, we partnered with GDAO, so you can mint MAI with your GDAI, which is pretty cool, I think. And of course, there is the GNS token as well. So these three things. We are very active on Telegram. That's where we are the most active. On Twitter as well. And we just posted the 2022 recap for the progress we made during the whole year. It's pretty crazy. I just read it a few, like before the AMA, and I almost forgot some of the stuff we worked on because we were going so fast. So yeah, I recommend reading it if you're interested about how we came to the place we are now.
Awesome. Well, I've shared both the link trees for each project. So whether you're looking to get more involved with Giddy or Gains, all the links you could possibly need are there. So I highly recommend giving both projects a follow on Twitter so you can stay up to date with everything they're doing. Like I've already said many times, these guys are really, really innovative projects. So they're doing stuff that no one else is doing. So you definitely want to keep up to date with that. And then yeah, jump in the Discord or Telegram, whatever your preference is, and get involved. You're pretty early. These guys are. We're pretty early in DeFi in general, so it's going to be a wild journey. So make sure you buckle up and giddy up.
Yeah, that's right. Giddy up.
Got to take every
Absolutely.
opportunity to use that pun I can.
Us too. We love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Incredible branding. Oh, anytime. Would love to have you guys back. Same with you, Seb. We'll definitely have to do some more AMAs with the Polygon community in the future. This has been a ton of fun, very informative. I'm glad we could get everyone familiar with who you are and what you are all doing. So, yeah, without further ado, I feel like this pretty well sums up the AMA. I don't have anything else to add, so.
Thank you so much for having us. This is a lot of fun. Love Polygon team. Love Gains Network. Yeah, thank you so much. Give the Giddy app a try. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from everybody, and thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome. Thanks
Bye-bye.
so much for joining in, everybody. Really appreciate having all of you here. And thank you again, Eric, Brandon, and Seb. Really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to join us. And yeah, with that said, I'm going to close up the call now. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye now. And make sure to jump in the Giddy and Gains Discord if you come up with any questions after this. You know where to go. All right. Cheers.